Sweet, looks like we're live.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Nikki Magdalena, six-figure entrepreneur, and I'm here with my beloved Abram Gonzalez. How are you? I hope it's a beautiful evening where you're at, wherever you are in the world. And Abram, can you tell us what our topic is today? It's very interesting that you chose this topic.
Yeah. Well, wherever you are in the world, let us know in the comments below. Let us know you're hanging out with us and that you're ready for a fun time tonight. I had this interesting download in the shower today, actually.
Ooh.
I know. I was naked. It was good.
Yeah.
I got tons of ideas.
Hopefully you're showering naked. I mean.
Well, I did have a roommate in college that was she was a never nude.
Uh-huh.
Did I tell you about this?
Yeah,
before?
you told me about this.
Yeah, she's a never nude, so she would shower like in her underwear, in her swim trunks, and like she would only change in the complete dark where she couldn't see herself.
Yeah.
She's a good-looking girl, but she was a never nude.
Disappointing.
Anyway, disappointing. Right. So anyway, that distraction aside, I got this download in the shower today, and about today's topic, and really what we want to share with you today is, after Nikki and I, we've collectively, I think, got at least over a decade of experience as life coaches and people who really found their roots in teaching people how to break free from their own personal matrix. Breaking free from the past, which is something that we're going to be talking a lot about today, and really overcoming a lot of the limitations that come up from you really living your best life. Mm-hmm. And so my idea for today's hangout and the stuff that we're going to talk about, it's all going to centralize around the idea of what it would be like to truly have a fresh start in your life and your business, in your relationships, to really not feel bound by the chains of your past, mm-hmm. Which is like, I'm sure you can relate, those feelings of maybe previous failure that stop you from taking action today. Or maybe like you had a really rough sort of breakup with your last partner, and now you sort of feel like that wounded soldier when it comes to like rekindling new friendships, new relationships and stuff. And it's those, what we'll call reference points of the past, that are really going to get in your way of creating a new future. Or if you've started a business and you didn't have success when you first got started, then you'll run into this pattern of not really believing what's possible for you because you're so busy looking over your shoulder, looking at what you've done before versus what you can actually do right now.
Yeah, and really, a lot of people say this, you see quotes going on Facebook, like every day is a fresh start. And yet how long does it take before many of us start to like think about the past as we're, maybe you're on your way to work or you're running an errand. And if, oftentimes when I start to get to know somebody, they'll tell me like all this stuff about their childhood, and like they see that as what's really standing in their way. And, I can tell you from experience that that's something that, well, what's going on?
Hello, everybody.
It unlocked it?
We got, is that it? Okay, cool. Perfect.
Yeah, I can just speak from experience that, working with reference points to my reality, being my past and not feeling like I could make a fresh start was something that I really struggled with. Mm-hmm. I personally, for me, I have gone through every kind of abuse you can imagine in this lifetime. And now I have a beautiful life. Like our business is rocking. Mm-hmm. Our life is amazing. We get to travel together. I have this harmonious relationship with Abram. It's really incredible. So, a lot of people ask me, well, like, how did you create that? Is it law of attraction? I'm sorry, can I?
Yeah, readjust there a little bit.
Yeah, I'll adjust. Okay, it's kind of. I'm tilting down.
She's sitting in my chair.
Well, you asked me to sit in your chair.
I did. I said, "Do you want the cushy chair tonight?"
I said, "Oh yeah."
Yeah. Well, hopefully you're still in the frame too. Let's check on that.
Oh, whoops. Okay.
All right, no, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Still looking beautiful.
Are we sitting? Are you comfortable? Because you.
I'm good.
Is this okay?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
okay.
Good.
Cool. We're like these. We're kind of like spacey. Some people call us hippies. If you want to call us hippies, that's cool. So we're a little bit ADD. You probably are too. If you're joining this hangout, you're probably ADD. You're probably totally following my direction here. I want to see some comments too, like who's here.
Yeah, well, I think, we have like 70 people here, and we have 2 people that commented. So I would love to know that you're like ready for some sort of breakthrough tonight, because over the next 50 minutes or so that we're going to spend together, we're also going to share with you some really special guests tonight. We'll be inviting them out here on the second half of this hangout to share with you some stuff about really how they're getting a fresh start and blowing things up in their business, starting from scratch, right? So that's really exciting, because one thing that I know is, like, when you get the fresh energy of somebody who's just getting started, there's something magnetic about it. There's something magical about it that infuses every molecule of your being, that gets you just buzzed and excited and taking action in new ways that you've never done before. So I'm excited to bring them out later today. But more importantly, just like, if you set your intention now to hear that one gold nugget or those two gold nuggets that we have to share with you through some of the stories that we're going to have, through some of the maybe like issues that we're going to explore, I know that there's something magic for you here.
Awesome. Hey, Edward. I love it. Hey from Canada, eh? That's awesome. Another person from Canada, Charlotte from Canada. Sandy's here from Portugal. What's up, Sandy? Yeah, and just to be transparent, we're also here with our team. We're going to ask you if you want to join our team at the end of this. You don't have to stick around for that part. You can just stick around for the value. So it's up to you. Yeah, I mean, you could also just like click the button below this video at any point and lock arms with us. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. So, I would also love to know in the comments, comment below, is there anything that maybe you're struggling with getting over? And you don't have to be detailed with your story. We're not asking you to bare your soul in the comments here, but maybe a topic, like, is there somewhere where you feel like your past holds you up? And in the meantime, I'll just, speak a little bit to my experience with this. And there have actually been studies that you can't say that studies even prove anything. That's the interesting thing, because really there can't, and even scientists say this, it's kind of like a common scientific myth that there's actually such thing as like an unequivocal, indisputable proof of anything. You're just sort of validating a theory, but you can never actually prove it as 100% true all the time. So it's interesting how much we do that, and we sort of get into like in society, there's like, this is the truth, and it's this dogmatic thing. So anyway, where was I? I was talking about the past. The past. I'm so all over the place. I thought you were gonna start talking about quantum mechanics and stuff. But maybe that's just my brain that was going to go. I think I was. Oh yeah. So yeah, I've actually looked at some studies that that allude to the possibility that you can change your past. Like you can actually change the imprinting of your past. Because does your past? We're going to get a little existential here, and we're going to get really out there. But what's cool about Abram and I is that we've learned to take a lot of concepts that seem really out there, and maybe even some people would say woo, and actually bring it down to earth and how you can apply it pragmatically. So one of the things that I actually read about not too long ago, and I'm not good with like citing stuff and remembering the exact reference that I got it from, the reference to my past of when I read something, but I can tell you that what I got from it was that it's not so much there are these studies being done about memory, and we actually don't, to say that we remember something and that this is the truth and this is what happened is, first of all, one idea that can keep you trapped in your past. So when you're like, well, I know this is exactly the way it happened, you still have your own filter of perception. So for example, let's say I had a fight with my mom or something 10 years ago, and I was like, well, she said this, and then I said this, and then she said this. Like, do you even remember when you read, like, think about even like the last Facebook status you read that you thought, this is amazing, I'm gonna remember this, or you read a self-development book and you were like, this, I'm gonna remember it. Can you really pull that out of your hat right now and quote it exactly word for word for word? So even just a slight distortion of what was actually said means that maybe the memory isn't real. Not totally accurate. Or totally accurate. So for me, just exploring these kinds of concepts were just some of it was like the doorway that allowed me to unlock and unhinge myself from my past. And what I mean by that is that, and even rewriting your past, we're going to talk about that, because what if it's not so much of what had occurred or you know, happened in your past that's influencing you now, but it's your ideas and your perspectives and your fixed points of views about what happened in that past that's affecting you now. You know, and would you be willing to explore with us today, letting some of those past ideas go? And you know, another thing that we're going to do, we're going to bring out these amazing guests at some point, and we're also going to, and why are we doing this? Okay, because here's the thing: we're these entrepreneurs. We're all about freedom, financial freedom. How does this connect with financial freedom? You might be wondering that. This is the kind of stuff that we, you know, work with our team on, because this is the kind of stuff that no matter how much you do, you can be like doing. You're still not going to be able to move forward because you have like this bungee cord that every time you move forward, it snaps you back into this vibrational reality that's part of your past. So if we can help just a few people, empower a few people on this hangout to become unhooked from that bungee cord and then just be able to quantum leap forward, then to me this hangout tonight was a success. And we're fulfilling our purpose and our mission, what we came here to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to know, okay, so let me see, are there any more comments here?
Oh, it's refreshing.
Oh, it's refreshing.
It's refreshing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a little late. Okay. All right.
I'll just keep talking.
Okay, cool. Well, Abram, I want to see what you have to add. And again, you know, guys, if there's anything that that is up for you around this topic, or just you know, it doesn't even have to be personal about you, but just like, oh hey, I'm curious about this. You know, when it comes to you know, letting go of your past.
Yeah, so I'll just give you guys an example of something that I personally went through that actually Nikki helped me with back in the day, that unlocked a whole new level of really receiving money in my life, because we've been entrepreneurs for a long time, but we weren't always successful entrepreneurs, right? We went through a time that involved quite a lot of struggle, where we were living in this little like 2-bedroom house with each other, and it was super moldy, and the windows were painted shut. It was like 100 million degrees inside there during the summer because we just couldn't open it up, no AC and all that stuff. And it was during those times when we had some of the biggest transformations in our life. And I can remember specifically a time where we were looking at some stuff, and my parents had been going through an interesting time in their business, right? My dad used to be a corporate America and found himself in a dry cleaning business, running a dry cleaner on a day-to-day basis, which is just a huge jump, right? I won't go into the details of how he made that jump and stuff, but he found himself literally overnight having to leave his corporate job and go to running this dry cleaner. And so day in, day out, he's doing this, and he's sort of like a martyr to his business, because when he got involved to save this investment that he made originally and had a hands-off situation in the beginning, it was no longer hands-off when his business partners sort of drove it into the ground. So he had to come in and sort of save it. Nikki remembers this well, and she's like, man, this is like the worst time ever for your parents and also for us like watching. You know, and so he was in the red with his business day in and day out, just sort of like grasping, you know, for air, and couldn't really bring it back. And so I had this interesting thing going on in my personal life where I didn't even realize I was doing it. You know, I was spending days at the dry cleaner, full days while I was going to grad school, looking to support my family, looking to support my dad's business, and ultimately, you know, like, I'm in college, I need some money too, and my dad was willing to pay me because he trusted me. And what I found myself doing as I launched my first business, even while I was earning $10 an hour at a dry cleaner, was the fact that subconsciously, I did not want to allow myself to succeed and make more money than my dad, which he was making zero. He was actually losing money every day, because I didn't want to make my dad feel bad, right? I didn't want to make my dad feel bad. And what's funny is that this actually stuck with me for a long time. Even after my dad closed the business down, you know, Nikki and I had conversations where I realized I was still carrying this, I don't know if you would call it guilt, or whatever it was, but this part of my past where I did not feel comfortable with the idea of creating a new life for myself when my parents were just struggling to get by. Right. And so through some of these conversations and through some of these realizations, some of the stuff that we're sharing with you tonight, right now, I was able to let go of some of that stuff, realizing that it was actually one of the most selfish things that I could do to hold on to some of that baggage that I had. And when I let go of that baggage, the funniest thing actually happened, right? It was the fact that my dad was actually able to get out from underneath that business with very little harm done to his personal finances, right? They didn't lose their house or all this stuff that they were worried about. And the second thing was it allowed him to find another job very quickly where he was actually making more money, feeling more comfortable and more like a man again, right? Because he could provide for his family again. And the third thing, of course, was that our finances exploded. You know, we were no longer tied down by this stuff, right? Some people, they have guilt. Some people, they have shame for their situation, their family situation. Some people are actually like really, really angry at others, right? Some people are very angry at others. Like I've had times where I've been very angry at friends that I felt like they'd done something to me, which in all actuality was sort of in my mind, right? My perception, my interpretation of things was that I was like the victim of some of these things that they were choosing. And my anger was like a festering wart inside of my body. If you can just picture
gross.
that.
Yeah.
I do paint some kind of gross visuals sometimes.
Internal work.
Because you forget, or you'd forget about it otherwise. And it's that kind of stuff that I personally believe leads to cancer, right? It's that kind of that anger that's left inside, that's not dealt with, that's maybe even stuffed down, that won't allow you to prosper, that won't allow you to be happy. And it's this stuff that when you finally let go of it, when you finally work through it, will allow you to keep moving forward in your business, in your life, in your relationships. And so as I look out and I look at some of our teammates and some of the people that we work with in our company and some of the people that we work with as clients in our coaching business, I see people who are stuck looking over their shoulder at something that happened. Like as an example, like some people think in this business that like they think like I will, because of what they've gone through, right? Maybe they've done a Google Hangout like this, or they've done a video, and they're thinking this is going to create something for my business, and then it doesn't. They make a conclusion in that moment that doing like a Google Hangout doesn't work to build my business, or doing these videos, doesn't work to build my business, or doing this or that doesn't work, right? And that starts to create sort of like a downward spiral. That sort of becomes like, well, this business actually doesn't work for me, right? But it's like when we first got started in this business, we had no reference points for what this is like. So we were sort of like babies.
Which is actually an advantageous position, and you can actually create that in your own life wherever you are by hitting the reset button on all of those conclusions that you're making. And I'm going to get, I'm just going to ask the audience here, how many of you are, consider yourselves to be pretty weird and out there? Just kind of do a shout out, like weirdo here, or I love out there, just let me know in the comments below, because there's some things that I want to share that, I don't really totally want to share unless I know we have the right audience for it.
Sure.
Because it might kind of be like blasting people too much unless I know that this is the crowd that's here. So I'm just gonna wait. Somebody says boom. Okay, so one person. I like that Ali said, isn't the experience of a situation of perception, so memory is trying to access the perception. Yeah, it's another way of putting it. So thank you for that input. Yeah, so let me know if you're willing to just go boom, like P Frost says over here, or I don't know, is that
Patty? She says her name is
Patty.
And we met in Charlotte.
Okay, cool. It's just her username, so, and the icon's really small.
Well, if nobody says anything, we just won't get into like the super weird, like juicy stuff. The stuff that's like helped us make multiple six figures.
Right.
I guess we just won't talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll reserve that for maybe some of our like elite inner circle people that really do want it, or maybe they'll just talk to Patty afterwards.
Maybe.
We'll talk to Patty.
Or maybe we'll just cut the hangout now, and we'll just go and lay down and snuggle and watch a movie or something.
That could work too.
I could totally do that.
That could work too.
Do that.
All right, cool. Now we're getting some comments. Thank you, Sandy.
I need a few more though. I love Sandy. She was weirdo and proud.
Well,
alien in the house.
I'll touch on something really quick here, and then we'll see, who else decides that they really want to see the good stuff. you know, Charlotte here is asking, like, please talk to us a little bit about the relationship with money. Your video on that was very powerful. I don't actually know which video that could possibly be because I've done literally hundreds, maybe even thousands of videos. But what I do know is that, you know, money is an energy, right? Money is energy on every level. Like everything that you look at around you is a form of energy, and so it's like just an exchange. So like if you've got some shit going on with your personal relationships with people, maybe you've got like maybe you have like a falling out with some of your family members. You know, maybe you've got like resentment that you've been holding on to for years over some argument that just doesn't even matter anymore,
or other people's resentments,
right? And maybe it's just time for you to like go just like forgive this person, or you know, take the high road and apologize, even if you weren't the person who was right or wrong, you know, just to resolve some of that animosity. Because here's the thing, right? Anything that gets stuck, right? Anything that stops moving is going to cut off your energy flows. And if we're talking about energy flows, that includes money and stuff too, right? So if you're not allowing, if things get stuck, right? If you're holding on to resentment or holding on to feelings for too long, you actually stop your ability of generating and creating money and allowing it to flow through you. Does that make sense, right? So as you unlock any area of your life, your money flows will increase. It's the funniest thing, because when I first met Nikki, she was doing all these relationship classes. And the funniest part was that she would work with women all around the world, helping them with the relationship issues. They'd unlock all this stuff thinking, you know, yeah, I'm going to have a better relationship. And a lot of them did. But the funny part is that so many of them actually had a huge financial transformation immediately following some of those coaching sessions that you did.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah.
And that's like the quantum mechanics world, where everything's sort of interconnected. You change something over here and it changes everything over here too.
Right, right. Yeah, and okay, so do we have enough people, you think, Aaron?
We got some more weirdos.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, this is for whoever is here that wants to know how to really, you know, I'm going to say let go of the past, use the past to your advantage, and be able to function and be total space around it. So it's like there is nothing from your past clamping you down and cutting off your circulation and your ability to like receive, you know, the flow of money in your life. It's more like, yeah, like all the clamps are off, and this is for the people who are ready to have a total identity shift. Because when you can have a total identity shift, your entire reality could change overnight, could transform overnight, or in just like a very, very short period of time. It actually won't even feel like time. You might even feel like time doesn't exist anymore. And I'm not going to go into my whole story, but I can say, for me, a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of successful people I know, they kind of go do the self-development stuff later, like after they've achieved a certain level of success. And then they're like, okay, now I'm stuck. What do I need to do? I need to do some sort of inner work, soul work transformation. For me, the soul work has been going on since I've been a kid and a teenager. I started like doing psychic readings as a teenager. And that taught me the ability to, whether or not you believe, you know, doing a psychic reading is real or not, that's actually not really relevant. What it taught me is to be able to listen to people deeply, and then to listen to their patterns deeply, and then to listen to their energy deeply, and then to listen to the universe deeply. And the context that I'm coming from right now is, whether you believe in God, universe, whatever you call it, there's an infinite energy and infinite space, and you are part of that. And so you are that. That's where I'm coming from when I'm saying any of this. So what would it be like to wake up tomorrow and be like a baby? I'm not asking you to do this. I'm asking you to explore this right now and see what comes up and play with it. Like, what would it be like to wake up tomorrow and not remember any of your crappy childhood memories? Or now, and here's it, some people will argue for their limitations and argue for these stories. And I think it's interesting that of all the memories, which is, you know, perceptions that we choose to carry with us, like, you know, baggage, when I ask people, what was your childhood like? Most people go, yeah, it was good, except, and they start naming all the bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why is it that there's almost like this collective program that has you, that impels upon you to not choose to remember the good stuff, but to selectively remember the bad stuff so that you can try to defend yourself against that when you grow up. And now the thing is that as a grown-up, as a being who's like, maybe you're in the process of taking responsibility and leadership of your own life. Abram, that will distract me. I'm sorry.
You're just gonna have to keep rolling. I gotta do this.
So where was I?
I don't know, because I'm inviting more people on the hangout right now.
Okay. All right. So Abram's doing that. So maybe somebody can remind me on the hangout. Where was I? Because I go into a trance and I can't remember exactly where I was. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I just get like certain modes where I get like really distracted really easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was good.
Oh, I know it was good. I just
I know I was speaking to like that we're programmed to remember the bad stuff, you know, and even in our media, you know, that's being reinforced, and in school that's being reinforced. We're just surrounded by drama, and you know, even when I'm in the store or I'm in a restaurant and I listen to the conversations next to me, oftentimes it's like the intrigue and the drama and this happened and that happened. And what that creates is that you actually can't create if you're totally stuck in that. You actually can't create, because if your energy's, just imagine for a second your energy not being caught up in any of that and never talking to anybody about like the drama and the intrigue from the past. Like, imagine what that would be like. You may not even know what to do with yourself, because there would be so much like a sense of vast spaciousness in front of you that it would feel so fucking weird. You'd just be like, this is so weird. This is so weird. And I've experienced that before, and I've lived it, and I'll tell you that the world will still try to seduce you back in, and you might have to go, oh, here I am again. But if you're willing to just play with that frontier and play with these, and to me, a question always opens a doorway of a new possibility. I think asking questions is one of the most underestimated tools that we have on this planet. But when you ask a question, it opens a unique doorway. It's like this new possibility falls into your lap and into your consciousness. So know that as I'm speaking and I'm asking questions, and if you're asking along with me, we're doing more than just talking and having a conversation. We're actually creating like this transformational soul dialogue. And that's what we're inviting you to participate in. So yeah, imagine if you woke up tomorrow and you were like a baby and you didn't remember your childhood.
Didn't remember yesterday.
You didn't remember yesterday. A lot of times I don't even remember yesterday anyway. You know? What would that, just tap into it and feel, what would that be like? Maybe just take a breath and take a moment to just be and allow yourself to rest in that space. And now, maybe go back to one of the most stressful things you can remember. If you can still remember something, you're like, well, I woke up like a baby. There's this one thing that I just can't get out of my memory.
It's the poo in your diaper from yesterday.
Exactly. You got poop in your diaper.
I mean, that's a real thing.
Yep. Don't worry, we're going to take care of that poop. Okay, so just imagine going back to that moment and maybe reliving it. Okay. Okay, cool. And now you're going to actually just to play with it. You're going to rewrite it, and you're going to, maybe that person said something really mean to you. You're going to transform it for them to say exactly what you want them to say to you. And you're going to have the feeling that you wanted to have in that situation, and the empowerment that you wanted to have in that situation, and the healing and the expansiveness that you wanted to have. And you can close your eyes if you want to. You can keep them open if you want to. It's up to you. And you're going to take that energy that you feel. You're now refreshed and relaxed from rewriting that part. And you're going to take that energy and you're going to blast it through your entire lifetime, like a whoosh, into your future. And then you bring that energy, you allow it to download into you, pull it into you, into your present now, in your body right now. Okay, cool. So this is just one exercise that I've done to free myself, is I've actually gone and taken memories, things that I keep replaying, and I've just rewritten them. And I think a lot of people are afraid of doing this because they think that that's like, well, does that mean I'm going to become like delusional and like, la, 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 like nothing ever happened? It's not about covering anything up. It's about changing the energy of it, the frequency of it. And again, you know, Ellie just said it. How did she put it? That memory is just perception. And I challenge you, if you do want to hang on to some sort of dramatic memory, you want to ask yourself, in this situation, would I rather be happy or would I rather be right? Because sometimes we want to defend our memories because we want to make someone else wrong and ourselves right. And that's where, you know, some would call it forgiveness. I think forgiveness is, I'm going to go out there and say I think it's an illusion, because in order to forgive somebody, you have to already judge what they did as wrong. And I actually don't resonate with the idea of right and wrong. I think that keeps us in polarity and out of oneness. And I believe when you can function from oneness, that it's like the world is truly your oyster. Like the more that you come from that space and the less that the past defines you, the more possibilities you have access to and the greater choices that you can make, because you're not making your choices through the tethers, through the bungee cords, and through the filters.
You know, what you said kind of reminds me of like epic reframing in a way.
Yeah.
Like the energetics actually behind it that make a proper reframe actually work for you. Like, you know, if you're not familiar with it, you know, a reframe is just a different way of looking at something that's happening or has already happened.
Yeah.
And if you can change your perception of it, the whole energy of it changes. The way that it plays out in your life changes. And I just think it's a really powerful tool, because if you can reframe something into something, into like a point of view that actually works for you, you become more powerful in every area of your life. Let me give you an example. Like when we were living in our little 2-bedroom house 2.5 years ago, I don't remember how long ago that was, or a year and a half ago. You know, one of the perceptions that we held for a long time was that we were trapped. Right, that we were trapped, and that we were poor, and that we didn't have any money. But the reality of it was we were actually taking all of our money, we were investing it in ourselves, We were going to trainings and personal development. We were buying products that would help us move our business forward. We were going to business conferences that were enriching our lives and increasing our income. We weren't poor. We were just investing our money into a lot of things that we knew were eventually going to create a payoff for us, right?
Right.
That was the reframe that we came to that really started, that was one of many, that helped us move out of that house in the first place, was no longer looking at ourselves as being poor, right? Just that we had made some different choices than everybody else that had put ourselves in that position,
Right.
you know, and that we weren't going to judge ourselves anymore on what was in our bank account.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And really, your bank account is a reference to your past as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Monies that were already created. So it's all around us. Like we use the past to sort of define where we are now and where we can go in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And I really feel like the more that somebody is willing to work on this, the greater their future will become. I mean, to me, this is like millionaire creating stuff. And even like Chris Record, he's a seven-figure earner. I don't know if he is yet in Empower, but he's doing overall this. He's a friend of ours, and he was just talking about reframing. You know, he has a son that was diagnosed with autism, and it really rocked his world. And then he just went, you know, how lucky am I to have had this, to have had the income for, you know, to get like tutoring 40 hours a week for him. And, you know, this is a child that lost, you know, not his eyesight, but he would not look at anybody. He would just sort of stare in his face, and his hearing and all this stuff. So, you know, he reframed it for it to bring him more grace, you know. And I think it's weird, like in our world, in our society, people try to tell you, well, that's not being real with reality. Like, that's not being real. Being real is like being really negative or something, you know. And it's like, well, what's really real? You know, there's so much, like you were going into the quantum physics stuff here a little bit. There's so much quantum physics that shows that you know, reality really is perception. I think a lot of our audience feels that, and yet I think sometimes we just need to be reminded. You know, we just need to be reminded by other reflections, by other people who have you know, walked maybe where we want to go. That yeah, like you're not crazy for wanting to reframe stuff and, you know, not live in your past, but you are going to be very different. You got to be willing to be different, because when you no longer are tied to your past and you're no longer like caught up in the drama of things, you might maybe become a little bit less relatable to the people who haven't been willing to let that stuff go. You might find yourself not, you know, instead of like, I think we take a lot of our creation energy and use it to talk out, like, and complain about stuff. Now you're going to be like, wow, there's all this other extra energy I have to create something. So you just have to be willing to like redirect that energy so you don't get sucked back in. Somebody had a question on there on the.
Yeah, and then we'll bring out our guests, and I think this will be a really their energy is pretty big. We're sort of gonna be like changing gears, I think, and
I think so.
Giving a really broad perspective of this topic here with our guests as soon as they come out here. But you saw a question here, Nikki?
Yeah, but you know, really quick, I do want to. I know we've got some of our team here, and you know, I do want to. You know, we're talking about the topic of being in the past, and I just want to invite everybody who's been with us. You know, it's interesting with our business, and maybe with your business, you felt ups and downs, and a lot of people use the down and lock that into place, and then it's almost like they're not willing to come back up because they are stuck in the past of the down, if that makes sense. And I learned something from Dave Wood at the top, not the producers, the team building formula. That was really powerful, you know, and to me, it's not just about team building, it's like a life philosophy, you know, and a business philosophy that I would like to invite you into exploring, which is that every business has ups and downs. There is no business that does this forever and ever and just shoots up.
Same with your life.
Same with your life. And that doesn't mean that it has to be an up and down crash, like crash and burn nightmare of a roller coaster. Think of it more like maybe your life is more like a lake. When the wind blows, there's these little waves, you know, these little ripples. Or maybe your life is more like an ocean. It still flows. It's undulating and flowing and vast and infinite. So, you know, one thing that he said is a lot of people quit during the down. So every business goes up and down. A lot of people quit during the down, and then they don't get to experience the up.
They miss out.
They miss out on the upswing, and they quit during that down, and they get discouraged. And then when the upswing comes, they have to start all over again. But if you're willing to stick through the ups and the downs, you'll get to enjoy those upswings. And it's also just valuable to know as an entrepreneur in any business, because I think a lot of people just misinterpret, you know, this is happening, it means that we're failing. Instead of this is happening, it means that an adjustment needs to occur. Some sort of adjustment needs to occur. And hopefully you attended the live stream last night. There was a really awesome live stream last night with Dave and many of the company leaders in Empower. And, you know, he was very transparent about, as he's always been, about what has been going on with the company. We're not going to go into that too much tonight, but I just want to, you know, if you're on our team, I want to encourage you to, and you want to move forward with us, because we're not here to force anybody to stick around, that's for sure. You know, in any business, you know, in any business, even a cupcake shop, or I could have, like, this is my favorite store to go to, but someday I might be like, you know, I need a break from the store, or now I don't like cupcakes anymore. I really have an ice cream fetish, and I'm going to go have ice cream instead, you know? So it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with the cupcake business. So anyway, what I do want to encourage you, if you are on our team already, you're on Team Have It All, to really just go into the next phase with us and empower, letting go of the past. Maybe you want to rewrite the past. Because what is coming is not some crazy hyped up thing. I feel like it's going to really change things in a way that's going to become even more sustainable and more powerful for everybody. And it's interesting when somebody new comes onto our team and joins our team without any reference point to ENV2 or any of the past or anything like that. That's what we're here to bring you today. That's why we're bringing out our next guests, because these are two people that just joined when, Abram?
Like
less than a week ago?
Less than a week ago?
Less than a week ago.
I think like Friday?
Less than a week, on Friday. And they have gotten how many members?
2 in the last 24 hours.
2 in the last 24 hours.
Probably like 3 more people. So even maybe somebody that's like watching right now is wanting to become a part of our community and be a part of what these two are building here with us. Yeah,
absolutely. So so they have prospects here. They have sponsored people. You know, given them 2 people in the last day the opportunity to create financial freedom in this amazing community. So I'm just really excited for these two. They're coming in with a fresh energy. I think that they're very in alignment with the topic that we're creating it, because they're being it right now. They're just here in the now creating. And I know that the 2 of you will be a huge gift to our team as well. You're coming in being an awesome energy, a breath of fresh air. And Abram, without further ado, you want to welcome our guests?
Yeah, I want you guys to give a warm welcome to our guests, Ace and Rich. And actually, I met Ace and Rich like 4 years ago on the internet. Ace actually had me out on one of her shows. She had this it was called the A. Haldry Show, and she interviewed guests and highlighted other people that were doing cool things on the internet. And it was a pleasure for me to be a part of what she was creating and be a guest then. You know, and Ace and Rich were actually a huge inspiration for me back when I was first getting started on the internet. And so now it's just really cool that things have come full circle, and now we get to work together, and they've just come in here with this like fiery passion, which I think you guys are going to experience here when they start speaking in a second, and realize like what a fresh energy and a fresh start can really do for your business, because they're coming in, they're just on fire, and they're like, I'm just gonna sponsor people. And they're doing it. And so Ace, Rich, I see you there. I don't see your camera yet, but hopefully you can unmute and just come on out.
Yeah, we're trying to actually get the camera going here.
I'm clicking on my face, but it's not like coming up. I just see just our picture that comes up.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Sometimes the tech stuff doesn't work. I was actually fumbling around before we got started. The webcam wasn't working on this computer, so I had to go get like another one to put it on the computer just so it would work. You know, just stuff comes up. People just have to go look at your beautiful faces when they get the chance here on Facebook. But you know, if we can hear your voice, that to me is what counts. And so I would just love if you guys shared a little bit about like you know, in the next like 5 minutes here, like what it is that really brought you here, maybe what it was that made you make the decision to like lock arms with us. And then I do have another question for you after that. And then after that, I do want to share before we get off here, I actually have 3 ways that you can actually go about like really creating a fresh start now, tangible things that you can do every day, that we do every day, that can help you really feel like you're starting fresh and not looking over your shoulder anymore. So I do have that after we're done talking to you guys, just so that people know that there is some more cool stuff coming even after you guys are done talking. So take it away. Let's hear a little bit about your story so people get to know you guys a bit and about what brought you here and made the decision for you to come here.
Awesome. You want to go first?
Yeah, I do. And I just want to thank these two. Thank you so much for having us here tonight on this special webinar. And just listening to you guys in the first 30 minutes, you guys are awesome. And you, Nikki, you said that we were a breath of fresh air. Honey, you're like the wind to my fire, that I've been just literally looking for somebody in we're talking female power here. We're talking women power. I'm looking for somebody like that to be partnered with.
She's like, yeah.
I've been alone for quite a while. So it's awesome to have partnership with you and Abram. We go way back, man. Oh my God. And oh man, I would think, see the look on my face.
Yeah, I know. I love the technical things happen all the time. You know.
We'll be back though. We'll be back. Don't worry. We bring the fire to the business, and we have a lot of experience with what we've been doing with the network marketing industry. Me and Rich, oh my God, we met online, and you know, I was doing the A. Haldry show. I was a single mom. I had a 7-year-old son, and my son right now, he sees and is exposed to all of this energy and all of this business stuff, and he's like, Mom, when do I start blogging too? Because you know, I'm only 7, but can you teach me? I'm like, don't worry, we'll be teaching you. You just keep watching Mom and Dad.
Yeah, right.
So, but yeah, it's been really fun. And you know, Rich, why don't you go ahead and bring something in about what we've been doing and why do we choose these two?
Okay, definitely. I just want to say thank you guys for having us on the Hangout. And I just want to say something that I want to resonate with what you said about business when you have ups and downs. Okay. So before I get into my story, I just kind of want to resonate with that because we've gone through our ups and downs, okay? I've got some really great highs, and I've got some really big lows. You know what I mean? But for me, I call it the thrill of the chase. And what is that? The thrill of the chase of always having something to aspire to have. And it doesn't have to be material. It's a feeling that you feel when you accomplish something. You know what I mean? So that's what I call it the chase. So it's pretty cool. So my story, I started back in 2008 online with online marketing, and you know, I was going through a tough time. I actually got laid off from work. I was in a band recording the second album. After recording the second album, things weren't really up to par. So I started. I went to go see Abraham Hicks from the movie The Secret. I don't know if you guys know who she is. Abraham Hicks.
Oh yeah.
Huh? She, I have a recording. I actually had a one-on-one with her. I got in the hot seat, and this is when Jerry was still alive and everything. And you know, I opened up and I just told her that I was really frustrated with certain things in my life, and she just told me because of me being into music and you know, like I'm a genius, all this kind of stuff. But you know, it was the eye-opener for me because I attracted so many people that day, and then after I walked out of that session. You ever look at something that everything looks like you could see almost everything simultaneously all at the same time? Mm-hmm. And like you start to look at things like you never looked at it before? As even like a piece of metal just looks different. You know what I mean? I know it sounds weird.
I do,
you know, it looks different. And the sky looked different, and the sun going by the clouds looked different. Everything was just weird. but in a good way. So that night, driving back from Stamford, Connecticut, went to the studio. The following day was the last night of mixdown, and which is very important before mastering going to Boston. I decided to walk out of the studio because I just feel that I think I wanted it more than everybody else, the success, and I decided to just leave that. And I was watching somebody on video on the computer for a whole year, okay, and it inspired me to want to do that. I was like, well, what is it that this person's doing? I want to know. So I watched this person for a year, and so anybody who's listening to this, if you don't think nobody's watching when you're running your business, they're watching.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
So I ended
out there.
So I ended up, just selling all my stage equipment. I have some really professional equipment because I did some touring and stuff. So I sold all that equipment. I needed exactly $1,500 and I don't know, $1,500 something dollars. And when I sold everything, it came out to about $1,500 something dollars. So everything was just aligned and was just matched up right. So when I got in, not having any experience in business whatsoever, okay, I was hungry, so I started learning the skills. And I went to some ups and downs, and I made some commissions, right? I made some money, it was great. But what happened was, it's not what I thought it was going to be, right? So I traveled, I went to events and met some great people. And from there I was growing. I was just learning more about myself and learning about what this really is about. And what happened afterwards is I kept my mind open. Okay, I didn't close it. I kept my mind open. I said, something has got to give here. So somebody approached me about an opportunity, and about 3 times I refused it. Then the 4th time I said, you know what? Forget this. Screw it. Let's just do it, right? I've been over here for a while. Let me just dive right in here. It must be a big deal. Now, I always say that one decision can really change your life dramatically, okay? And for me, that one decision netted me like 186 grand in less than 6 months, okay? And that was really good for me because the reason why I got started, we all have reasons for getting started in business. And my reason was very simple. I wanted to travel. I wanted to see things that I don't usually see because I was stuck at a job or I was stuck in, the location. That's why I wanted to get in a band. I wanted to, tour, travel, see things. So what happened was, things started happening. I ended up traveling. I ended up talking on stage for a company in Vegas and training quite a bit of people, right? And by the way, I don't know if you guys can see this. Actually, the video's not on.
No, you can't show them the T-shirt.
We really want to see you.
I know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you know what? It happens with Google sometimes.
His shirt says "Creating Prosperity for All," and it's a black shirt, and it's nice. Yeah.
So basically, and you know what, guys? You just don't know where your journey is going to take you. Once you just dive in and just do it. You don't know where your journey is going to take you, man. You're going to have headaches. You're going to have frustrating days, but it's so worth it for the good days, right? So when I traveled, to Vegas in this event, I only went to see an event. I didn't go there to speak on stage, okay? So the turn of events, here's what happens, and you guys are going to be blown away by what I'm about to tell you, okay? So I'm there. I'm getting connected with this couple, older couple, right? And they're like networking with me, and I'm like, hey, my name's Rich Guzman, nice to meet you. And they're like, oh, our name's so-and-so, and also we shook hands, and they gave me their business card and everything. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, this guy slides right in, okay, and says, hey, aren't you Rich Guzman? I was like, yeah. He's like, I seen you on video. You're like on YouTube, right? Yeah, I seen you like all over the place. Man, you're like everywhere, And then he turns to the couple and says, you don't know Rich Guzman? What are you doing, living under a rock? And I was like, whoa, what, and I didn't expect this. So, things happen like that when you're in alignment with what you're doing. And all of a sudden, he goes, hey, Rich. He goes, would you mind, coming up on stage and talking? Or keep in mind, I'm over 500 people, right? So I was used to talking on, I was used to being in a band on stage, but not talking on stage. So it was a little bit different. So I said, sure, yeah, I'll go up there and do some training, a little bit and stuff like that, And then all of a sudden, from there, I met my coach, Jeffrey Combs, right? Yeah. Now here's the ironic thing. Guess who was at that Breakthroughs of Success the week that I went to Jeffrey Combs' event, Breakthroughs of Success? David Wood and Ashley. Okay, you guys know that, right? I want to tell you about the story. This is awesome. So we're there. We're all like gathered around. I mean, I didn't get acquainted with him too much, but we all like talked and shared stuff, And he was just talking about how frustrated he was because he was working a lot of hours, right? And from there, everybody just had a common, just something that they were breaking through, And for me, that changed like everything that I've done, because after that, it led me to go to West Palm Beach and get mentored by the guy who actually had me talk on stage, which is multiple seven-figure earner. And from there, I went to the Caribbean. From there, I went to like Lake Tahoe. I mean, so many things started changing, and I got so excited because the reason why I got started was to travel. So that's what happened. So the reason why we decided to move forward and to come into Empower Network, okay? Because we were doing okay as far as making commissions online and being quite a little bit successful, but I felt like there was like a disconnect somewhere, okay? And we were disconnected from something being complete. And I felt like we weren't a part of something that was bigger. We felt like we were alone, and we felt like we needed to be connected with other people. And when I see Empower Network, I see like unity, I see family, I see people that have like one common cause, just to change their lives and do better for themselves and grow. Mm-hmm. And when I saw that, I was like, you know what? I said, we got to do something. I don't know what. I said, so we had to talk, me and Anastasia, and we said we got to make a move somewhere, and I don't know where, but I want you to think about it. And I usually make a lot of decisions and everything, and I wanted her to make a decision this time, all right? And she came to me and she said, hey, you know what? I've been watching Abram, and I know Abram for and then we saw you as well, Nikki, and the thing about it is he. When I talked to Abram before a long time ago, he always had this great energy and stuff, and it was just something about him. And so when she approached me and said that she was thinking about connecting with you guys in Power Network, I was like, yeah, man, that's great. Let's do it. Seriously. I'm the kind of guy that, when a decision's made, there's no hesitation. Just do it.
That's it.
You know what I mean? So that's the reason, why we chose it, because we wanted to be part of like a family, a community, something that's bigger than ourselves. Because I think that when people get involved in something, if they're part of something bigger than themselves, it helps them move forward and it helps them catapult them to the next stratosphere, the next level, okay? And you guys, just by listening to you guys a little earlier, some things that you're saying, I really resonate with, because we've been through our ups and downs. Mm-hmm. We've been through success. We've been through like great things, Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean that's quite a bit of but there's a lot more stories, that's for sure.
Yeah. I know there's a lot.
I can feel it. Yeah, I can feel it.
I think if there's well, I'm gonna have you guys answer the question too, but I'll tell you what I think what my answer is. Just before I even ask the question, I'm gonna ask you guys the question. If there's one thing that you could, give to people right now, maybe it's a download, maybe it's a kind of like an energy that you're being, maybe it's like something tactical. I don't know, like whatever it is. What is that one thing right now that's being the biggest contribution to you guys being able to come in and just get your hands dirty and start sponsoring people? Just from hearing you talk already, I think it's just your energy, honestly. Like there's a conviction in your voice. There's this sense that like just hearing you guys and watching you right now, it's like, well, I guess I can't totally watch you right now because I see the video, but it's like I know that the energy is like this huge part of it. It's that conviction. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. We had like the video double playing on our screen here, but I think that's the secret, because people talk to you and I'm sure they're just like, what are Ace and Rich doing? Like I gotta be a part of it. So what's that one thing for you guys that people can take?
Well, see, here's the thing. It was me who did it. It was me. And as I said before, in 2008 when we met, Abram, I am the of social networking. And I have an ability that is a gift from God, that I can break ice with anybody I meet. And that's just a confidence thing. It's a gift. So what I did was I created a huddle. I called my closest people that I mentored for the years. I had trust and relationship with them. And I said, guys, let's keep it real. Are you guys learning anything? And I said, come on, let's be honest with each other. If you're not learning anything wherever you are, then let's do something together. See, that's what leaders do. We say we do it together. Mm-hmm. That's what really transcribed to them. And they like transparency. And that's what really is the catalyst in building a business online. Being transparent, keeping it real. I've always said that, right, baby?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
you got to keep it real. You got to get people to open up, be themselves, not pretend to be anybody but themselves, because they got some abilities about them that they haven't tapped into yet. And they need to meet people like us and you and Abram. You know, they need to meet people like us to draw it out, because some people are just so tight and so close, so scared to just let loose and laugh.
Yeah, just oh, yeah. I think that's the thing, yeah. Some people... I think, because I've met a lot of people on my journeys and travels and stuff, and a lot of people I've seen, they're just very reserved and they're just so enclosed and it's not their fault. I mean, there's things that hamper them, like you were talking about the past and everything. Yes. You know what I mean? They have to let that go, and that's the hardest part. For me, I have my own things that were, that were holding me back. So, but, the question, what is it why are we so fired up, and why is it that, that we're just diving in like head first, right? It's because we have a vision. Yes. We want something in our lives to change, and that's the main deal. I don't think if we didn't want something so bad, I don't think the energy would be there. And everybody talks about like the why and like what's the reason, but the real thing is, what is the purpose? I mean, what do you want out of your life? I mean, what do you want to I tell people it's the jet fuel. If you don't have that, there's no fuel. There's no. What I told you before in the beginning when I met you, it's like you're like, if you don't have a boss, you're used to having a job, and you have a boss, you have to have, you're your own boss. But who is your boss? Your boss is your why. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Yeah.
You got to have something to hold you accountable. I mean, if you want to have something, we want to move.
Yes.
And we want to move away, far away, not too far, but far away. And
can you be specific? Like, where do you guys want to move to? Because I hear you saying like your vision is. I get the energy when you say it. It's powerful. It's like a lot of transformation, and it's not like you have to narrow it down to one thing. As far, well, my goal is to move to Hawaii, and that's it. I know that you guys have been doing this. It sounds like you've been familiar with having your why and your vision for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm curious though, like specifically, what is your vision for moving? Because I hear you bringing up travel a lot, and by the way, we've actually had quite a few of our team members succeed in that way. People who have joined our team by clicking the button below and locking arms with us. Just getting started for $25. We've had people who came in with that dream to travel, and they did it. And that's what we're here for, is to support your dreams and vision.
Yeah.
So, and we have Sandy here. She's listening. She's staying up late from Portugal. She was living in France. A lot of people romanticize France, or like France is so amazing. And she's one of our most gifted bloggers. I mean, she's always creating amazing content. And she actually used to blog for the Huffington Post. But anyway, I could go on about her. Really quick though, she was living in France where she felt like it just didn't match her vibration anymore. Like, I don't know if I know I could relate to that, because looking back, I realized that there are places that I've lived in, and I've done the whole nomadic thing, that was matching what I desired at a specific point in time. And she actually used to run anti-poverty campaigns. So she moved to an area where people didn't like money at all. And when she changed her mind and she wanted to create prosperity with Empower Network, it was like it was like she felt like she was in the mud. So, you know, being on our team, using the system, she moved to Portugal, and now she's living in one of the wealthiest areas in the town. I can't even pronounce the town, the beach town that she's in, but she's living in this most amazing place in Portugal. So, you know, if you're on this hangout right now and your dream is to travel or move somewhere that really, you know, has you just going, you know, we can totally help facilitate that. We can totally empower you to have that. So, but
absolutely.
You have to choose. It's like you can hang out and keep hanging out and sitting back in your past, or you can make that choice, make a decision to go, you know what, enough is enough. Like I'm done with settling for my past or settling for, you know, my sort of, you know, identity of what I think I can have, and I would like to have something more, have something greater for myself.
Exactly, and you know, you just said something about vibration, and for me, I feel that where I live right now, and I grew up in this area, guys, okay, and what I've noticed ever since I've been able to travel and live a great life for a while, what happened was when I came back home, right, it didn't feel like home anymore. I don't know if that makes sense. It just didn't feel like home no more. So what I want to do is specifically, okay, and you know, we want to tell you exactly what, you know, where we want to go specifically, you know, and how we want to live and all that kind of stuff. We want to move to the north coast of the Dominican Republic, right? And we also want to go next year and actually take a tour of the area, because we know the location, we know it's the north coast, and we already know somebody that lives there. And we know another person that actually does, you know, a tour, and it's free, okay, just to see the area and stuff like that. I want to be by the ocean. Why? I'm just an ocean person. For me, when I was traveling, I want to, you know, sit by the beach and watch the waves crash and just be at peace, okay? And for me, when I was able to do that, I sat on a beach, and the first thing I said was, you know, I felt like I was on a deserted island because there was nobody there. It was just me on this long beach with palm trees and the sand like a mile long. And I just crouched, you know, I squatted down on the sand, and I looked off to the ocean, and you know there's nothing but ocean when you're on an island. And I said, thank you, universe. Thank you for giving me this, because guess what? This is exactly the reason why I got involved. This is exactly what I asked for. So now things have shifted. You know what I mean? Now it's like I don't just want to travel to a place and just be there and just visit. I want to be able to wake up and feel the trade winds, right, across my face, and feel really, really good, and be in an area where I could eat, like, you know, whole organic foods, grab food from the tree when I feel like it, grab a coconut and start drinking it. You know what I mean? That's me. You know, because when I was on the island, you know, I traveled also to Puerto Rico. I was the happiest person ever. I mean, I was literally like super like happy, and I know that that's where I'm supposed to be. You know, so I was thinking about like, so what's the reason? You know, I mean, why? Why do we want to go to that particular area? Well, I feel it's more than just being there. It's more about giving back to community that needs more, that they don't have, and I think that we can contribute to that community and give them something that they could help them, you know, feed their families more, and just do something that's more purposeful in life instead of just going to work and then coming home, just going to work and coming home being like a robot. I don't want that. What I want is to wake up other people that have poverty, that I can give them something, I can help them feed their families just by doing something simple, you know. But to them, it's like huge, you know. So if I could wake up every morning and do something like that, and feel the trade winds in my face, and have a purpose at the same time, then I think that's a life worth living. I don't know. That's just the way I feel. And you know, prior to all this in the beginning, you know, like when I was in the band, you know, I felt kind of selfish. You know what I mean? I felt like I was just kind of doing things for myself. But you know, as time goes on and you go through your journey, you know, you just learn new things about yourself, and you just learn new things about life. And I feel like it's time to give back in some way, some shape, and so forth.
Especially before you leave this earth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's definitely a mission in my heart to do that as well, and we share the same view. You know, I've always been about helping people. You know, even before I even got involved in the industry of network marketing, I was 17 years old, just talking to people, strangers, homeless people. I've always had that about me, you know, but I could never find the right vehicle for me to just be me and for me to be able to do that type of thing. You know, people were always holding me back, telling me what to do in the MLM industry, telling me I can't do this. I don't want to be told what I can't do. I want to be free like a butterfly. I want to just land where I want to land and stay where I want to stay and help where I want to help.
Tell the story about it.
Well, I'll tell you what, if this gives you any indication of being able to be yourself in this company, which I can totally relate to that, even though we don't come from the MLM space. We've been involved in, you know, a coaching modality where we paid, you know, over $20,000 to get these certifications, and then they tried to control us and control our voice, and you know, what we're saying is not conscious enough or spiritual enough or whatever it is from their point of view. And, you know, it's like, and that feeling of being watched and scrutinized, you know, like, you know, I'm not grateful enough to the guru or something like that. And it's like being an Empower Network, interestingly enough, you know, it's like here we are, click the button below, you have this money-making opportunity, but inside of it you have so much more. There's so much more, and I was able to go on stage. I've actually been on stage, I don't know how many times now, but we've been on stage quite a few times now in this company as top producers. And you know, David Wood, the founder of the company, he doesn't check up on me to make sure, you know, he agrees with the meditation I'm facilitating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they've given us the stage and said, you know what? You guys have earned your spot here by being producers, by creating this income. You know, of course, there's like, okay, you know, you don't, I mean, they don't even need to say, like, you know, don't bash Dave. You wouldn't go upstairs and, like, you know, there's obviously certain things you just don't go on stage and say or do, you know. But it's like there's so much freedom granted. Like, go up there and be yourself. That's what we want. Share your story and inspire people through your story and be yourself. And I've gotten to go on now several times and, you know, share meditations like I did in this hangout, but more in depth, and have, you know, a room of hundreds and thousands of people closing their eyes and changing their entire universes through like transcendental type meditation. So, you know, to be given that vehicle, to be given a platform in that way, to me,
And the voice,
I can't really put a price on it, and I can't really, you know, $25 is just like a small gesture, you know, to like, you know, that's like a, you know, dinner for two at Chili's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And where do you get, what do you get after you have a dinner at Chili's? You know, you usually feel pretty bloated afterwards and not that great, you know what I mean? Like, it tastes good going in your mouth, but it's not really going to help you create an income or a business. So if you want to create an income business, you know, just, and you're called, you know, if you are, then click on that button and it will tell you what you're getting, and lock arms with us. And anyone who's locking arms with you guys is really lucky, because I can tell your vision is strong. You guys are going to be great team builders, and that's kind of what I'm sensing. We haven't really gotten a chance to talk as much as you and Abram, and you guys are going to Orlando, right? Are you guys going to be there in person?
It's so short notice at the moment, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Because Rich still has to, you know, work a regular job, and my son goes to school publicly.
Well,
so we're in that.
If you guys can make it to Orlando, you know, speaking of, what was it you said earlier about laughing and letting loose? Like, that's what we're going to do, and we're actually with a chance to come early. We're going to come on Tuesday, so if anybody wants to come a bit earlier, a day earlier, I think the event starts on Thursday or Friday.
It's in the back office.
It's in the back office.
October. I got a few things that I
okay,
want to wrap.
But if anybody wants to come early, then we're gonna do like Universal Studios and Disney World, and have lots of fun. So
this is a great lead-in from just kind of how I wanted to wrap. Well, did you have something to say, Rich?
No, that's nice. That's awesome. Yeah.
Well, first of all, so I wanted to give you guys like the three things that I was talking about earlier, and it's funny how you guys actually brought up a few of them. that I have on this list for really like being able to start fresh every day and create your reality
And then
with
we'll go,
intention.
right?
Yeah, and then we'll go and we'll go snuggle and we'll go
Yeah.
like, you know, just chill out. Like,
Okay.
does that sound good to you?
Yeah, my throat's kind of.
Yeah. So first thing though is guys, give some love for Ace and Rich in the comments below. Right? Obviously they're amazing. Thank you guys for coming and sharing your heart with everybody, and we'll make sure that video camera is working next time so we can see your beautiful faces.
All right. No,
Yeah.
it's hooked up right. I don't know what's going on. It must be the Google Hangout or
The
something.
glitch in the Matrix, dude. The glitch in the Matrix. So we have.
It's all good.
It just makes them eager and look forward to seeing us.
That's the great anticipation.
Yeah. So I just love you guys already. So I'm excited that you guys are here, that we're locking arms, that we're building together, that everybody else gets the chance to meet and grow with you guys as well. And those 3 things I was talking about that you can actually use to like reinvent yourself every single day. Ace and Rich talked about one of them, right? The first thing is a vision, right? Knowing exactly where you're going, knowing why you're doing what you're doing, right? Even if it's just to like break free from survival, that can be a really great place to start in terms of getting the fire under your butt to actually create something great, right? Your vision can change, right? Your vision could be one thing today, it could be a different thing tomorrow. It's going to change as you change. You're a person, you change,
Yeah.
right? All the time, right? And so that second thing leads into like, well, okay, so as you change and your vision changes, what are the things that you can do to change constantly, right? And there's actually like 3 things inside of this one little thing. First thing has changed my life dramatically has actually been blogging, right? And expressing myself daily, whether it's through a video or through a written word or whatever it is that's going on in my mind that I think would be of value to share with somebody else, I put it on my blog, right? And that's how me and Ace originally connected in the first place, right? And then I was introduced to you too, Rich. It's like it came from what I was putting on my blog, and somehow the connection happened, right, by putting myself out there. And so that has been the greatest contribution for me changing my life. It's actually the reason that Nikki and I met in the first place is because of one of the video blogs that I did. That's how we connected, right? It was like love at first click, you know?
We can relate.
Yeah. And so that's the first piece of the second little part, right? The second thing is like I'm always tapping into audio or watching other hangouts and stuff of people that I look up to, that I admire, that I can learn from, and filling my head with really, really good stuff. And that third little piece is reading daily. Right? The funny thing is that these 3 things here, they're all part of our 8 core commitments at Empower Network, right? It's designed to make you become a better person every single day. It's designed to make you change every single day in a better way, to enjoy a better life, right? And that's why we do this stuff every day, right? So you got your vision, you got your blogging, reading, and listening to audios, right? That stuff's going to change you every day, even 10 minutes a day. You become a totally different person at the end of the month, at the end of a year, right? And as we discussed earlier, all it really takes to change your life is just a different frame of reference, right? It's not even necessarily changing the stuff that's in your life, because when you change the way you see your life, the way the things that you look at change, right? And I think Wayne Dyer said something like that, right? Because it's true. It's like your point of view creates your reality. But what's the third thing, right? What's the third thing that you can do to really start fresh and create a new life? Rich talked about it earlier, right? He talked about how his life transformed when he went to an event and he met other people and he connected. Right? He dropped into a new space where he could become somebody different, where he was vulnerable and raw and ready to receive the stuff that was there at that event that he spoke about, and the countless events that he didn't even speak about that he went to. Right? Same has been true for us. Every time we go to an event, a seminar, a training, whatever it is, we have a huge transformation. The thing is if you don't go, you don't get it. If you don't go, you miss the gift of what it's like to participate in the energy, right? And laugh a little bit and have a good time and break bread together and go ride roller coasters like we're going to go do next month in Orlando, right? So here's the deal. There's a big button below. You should just click the button to get started with us if you haven't already. If you're already here with us and you're like tired of your shitty past bullshit stories that are holding you back and you're ready to ditch them, get your dang ticket to Orlando and start fresh with us at the end of this month. It starts now. The second that you buy the ticket is the second that your journey actually begins, right? Because then you're picturing yourself already having your breakthrough. And the breakthroughs that you're about to have start the second that you make that decision. So cool things are happening in Orlando, not just because we all get to hang out and go do some neat stuff, but huge company changes, the new blogging platform, the new mobile blogging platform. When you go to Orlando and you meet us there in person, you get beta access, first access over everybody else to experience this new technology and how it can change your business, how it can change your life. And there's just simply nothing that can replace the experience that you have in person. And if you're like just strapped and like you've got previous commitments and you can't make it, and you can't get away, there's also a live streaming option that's being made available now. So, but you don't get beta access. But look, you can't miss out on the experience that is an event, whether you're attending in person or virtually. Obviously, we want to be able to give you a hug, you know. And if we can't do that, we'll just have to settle with you guys viewing virtually. And I say you guys meaning everybody who's watching this right now. But that being said, that's all I got. And, you know, did you have anything else to add?
Have a beautiful night.
Have a beautiful night.
And a beautiful future.
And a beautiful future. Click the button below. Start fresh with us. Get all in. Meet us in Orlando. We love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Thanks, Ace. Thanks, Rich.
Let us know.
We love you too.
Your breakthroughs in the comments below.
Yeah.
Any aha moments, like moments.
And we'll see you guys next week, all right? Same time, same place. See ya.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.